This program brought to you by CalPro Research.
2021 Analytics System Quick Start. Hi, this is Larry Hill with CalPro Research, and we got a lot of things we're going to cover today, so buckle your seatbelts. I want to talk to you about our new analytics system, how to get access to it, kind of how we're handling security, what it looks and feels like, how trends work, how to drill down, data exports, and more. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is get access. So we're going to email you a link to a report that is specific for you in your context of where you work in the organization. And so you'll click that link and it's going to take you to the device registration page. You simply fill in the information, press register device, and then it will give you a little thank you and tell you to check your inbox. Next, you go to your email inbox and you will click this link right here to verify your email. That will give you 60 days of access on that particular device that you're using. So you'll need to do this on each of your devices, like your phone and your laptop, that kind of a thing. And once you've verified your email and registered the device, then it will take you to this page here, and you simply click View Report. All right, let's take a look at what happens. So you'll view the report. Now, I'm coming in here as the vice president of a network of veterinary hospitals called Sample Veterinary Network. And you can see we've got 26,000 surveys, and our overall net promoter score from all of those surveys is 85%. Now, I want to look at, is it getting better? Is it getting worse? You know, what can I learn from looking at the trends? So the first chart that we see is a rolling 13 months. And you can see our net promoter score is in the black dots, and then it compares to the industry, which is all the colorful lines. Now, those are all abbreviated, and the abbreviations are up here. So you can see CVMC is College of Veterinary Medicine for Companion Animals. And then you can look at the other ones and see how those show up here. If I want to turn these off, I can, which is simply clicking on them. And that shows me with just my trend. And if I want to compare it to two, let's say, I can do that. So that's a great feature. Also, I can look at the number of survey responses that we have coming in, and we can see those broken out by different categories. If I want to turn off a couple of these, I can do that, and I can now see just the number of surveys where they came in with low scores, detractors and strong detractors. And then the next thing is I see a tally of all of the survey responses for the previous month, and that gives me a good feel for what's going on with how many people are answering the questions. And then I can see those calculated into trends month over month and get net promoter score, net favorable score. Now, I'm assuming you've watched our training video on what net promoter score and net favorable score mean and how we calculate that. So if not, I strongly recommend watching the training video. But you can see here the various scores for each of the questions, and you can see them for January, February, March, etc. We have a rolling 13 months here. And then we have quarterly and annually available on other sections of the reports once we get to those. There's different colors. Blue means that your score is above the industry benchmark, exceeding the industry benchmark. Green means it's on par with the industry average. And then yellow means it's below the industry average. And then red means it's far below the industry average and in need of improvement. So those are the different colors. And so in a glance, this is basically a heat map representation, and you can see what's going on very quickly in our network of hospitals. Next, we give you a bunch of buttons where you can navigate to where you want to go. You may want to give us feedback. We strongly recommend that. Recommend watching our training videos. You can get that to there from here, from this button. You can look at the report I just showed you by quarter or year by clicking these buttons. You can also look at it by region if you have the right view. So I'm logging in now from the top level of the network, and so I see this button. But if I was looking at the site level report, I would not see this button. So these are what we call smart buttons. We have a button builder that looks at the context of the report and provides the correct buttons based on that context. So I can look at net promoter score a variety of ways. And then I can look at comments, and I can export the data, and I can look at industry trends. Now, this is really important too. We have a lot of data here at CalPro Research, and so clicking this button lets me look at what's going on in the industry in total, and I can learn some really interesting things about the context of my industry. And then you can unregister your device. Now, I strongly recommend this if you're using somebody else's computer or a shared computer or something like that. That way, you're making it so that nobody else can look at the reports except you if you're using a shared device. But if it's your handheld, laptop or whatever, if it's personally yours, then you can leave it registered, and then every 60 days we'll ask you to re-register it. Now, I want to dive down by region. So let's go ahead and click on MPS by region and start drilling down. It takes a few seconds for the page to load. This is doing a lot of computations, and so it might take 5 or 6 seconds for it to load. And then I see my Net Promoter Scores for our region in the 3 different regions that we have here. I see it by month, by quarter, by year. And that's pretty cool. And I want to dive down on the central region. So let's go ahead and click on that. And I see a report that looks very similar to the first one I showed you. This is data specifically for the central region now. And if I really like this report and I want to share it with the central region manager, I can simply go up here to the URL and click copy, and then paste that into an email and send it to the central region manager. And then they would have to register their device and make sure that they're authorized, with the email and things like that. But then they can look at this report. Now, they could not go up a level, they can only go down. So because the reports are context specific, if I'm sending this link to somebody, they can only look at this level and below. They cannot look at the level above, which is really cool. So they see the same kind of information, same sort of layout, but it's specific to their context, and the trends, and then the buttons. And so where I want to go from here is I want to dive down by site. So I'm going to click on site. So I'm only looking at the sites in this region now, the sites that are in this central region, and I can take a look at these sites and see them by month, by quarter. And I want to drill down onto site G here and see the similar kind of layout, but again, the data is only for site G now. And if I really like this report and I want to give it to the site manager for site G, again, I can come up here and click on the URL, copy that link, and send it to the site manager, and they would only have access to this data and what's below it, nothing above it. They would also have to register their device and have the appropriate email address. So I see the tallies, I see the trends, and the next thing I want to do now is I want to look at this by service category. So again, I'm drilling down for this particular site, and I'm drilling into the service categories for this site. And so this is the service categories by month, by quarter, by year. And what we've done here is we've taken all of the departments that we have in our database, and we've mapped them to service categories and created benchmarks by service category. So not only do we have benchmarks by site type, we also have benchmarks by service category. So each of these services is being compared to their peer group for that service. This is really powerful. So I really like this. It's great. So if I want to drill down on internal medicine, I can do that. But hang on, before I do that, you'll notice that there are some cells that are not filled in. Well, we have a little note up here that says we only include markers in your trends that have 10 or more surveys. What this means is if we had 2 or 3 surveys, and let's say it generated a minus 50% or something like that, or 100%. Sometimes if you get 2 or 3 surveys, you get a weird number, right? Well, we're not showing those on the screen. So that way you're only looking at computations that sort of make sense. And that allows you to look for trends and patterns and not have odd computations showing up on these heat map displays. Okay, so that's a really important note. So I can click on internal medicine and take a look at what we have here. Now, again, if I really like this report and I want to give it to the department manager over internal medicine at site G, again, I can click on the URL and copy it and send that to that manager. And And I see a similar layout with the trends. And now there's no plotting here of the Net Promoter Score because there's not enough data in each of those months. You can see we need 10 or more to get a marker generated. But here I can see the number of responses for this department. And I can still see how the tally occurs. And I don't get the diagnostic trend because there's not 10 markers here. I need at least 10 in each data point. But what I can do is I can drill down to the comments, and like on all the other displays, like I had comments available to me, I can drill down on the comments and take a look at what people have said. And so here we have all the comments that the person wrote, and we push them all together into one cell block like this. We give you their name and email address, and then their willingness to refer is over here. And let's say I want to click on this one and see what's going on. I can click on the survey date, and it's actually a link to all the details about that particular survey. This is just like the survey alerts that we email you when someone takes a survey. Here you have that same information available, every question that we're asking, and then every answer that that person provided. And so you have all of that detail readily available to you right there, okay? And I'm just going to close some of these windows here. So get back to our sample site G report. Okay, now we're here back to our site G report, and I want to scroll down again, and we also have Net Promoter Score by doctor, and so I can take a look at what's going on. I'm at the site level now. I'm looking down, drilling down. At the department level, they cannot do this drill down. This is only at the site level, and I see my different doctors. Again, we only show markers if there's 10 or more surveys. So that's why you might see one doctor here in the monthly tally, but not in the quarterly tally. We need 10 surveys to make a marker, okay? But I can click on a doctor here, and I get that same presentation of trends and response counts and tallies, and the ability to export the data to Excel and look at the comments. And so I like this report, and I want to send it to Dr. B. I click on the URL, and I can copy that and send it to Dr. B. And now here's the cool thing is Dr. B can bookmark that and look at it every day. We're going to refresh this report every day. At noon Eastern time is when we're going to refresh these reports. And so simply by Dr. B bookmarking this report, they can see up to the yesterday's information. They can check it in the morning or check it at noon, whatever they want to do, and see up to that minute information. So that is really a great feature. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. Again, I'm going to unregister this device now, and basically I'm logging out. And we want to recommend that you do that if it's not, appropriate to leave it logged in, right? So we want to be really aware of security here. I think that's everything I wanted to show you. Have a great day. Take care.